Hi, I'm Brett Wallace at agentsdiscovery.com. Today we're going to be doing integration between cal.com and Synthflow, and we're going to be specifically doing live bookings. Now, the problem I had with live bookings on cal.com was that it wasn't capturing the person's email during the call. It was just a static, generic email. I can't remember what they were putting in there, and it kind of defeats the purpose for the real-time booking, in my opinion. So I've created this custom integration for that. And what it does is it has two parts. It gets all the available bookable slots that you created on your cal.com account. It searches those, and then it sends those back to the person during the call, so it tells them when you're available. And then during that negotiation during the call, the agent or the voice agent will put a time on your calendar. So to do that, we're going to create two custom actions in Synthflow, and we're going to go through that here in a second. The first one will be to get all the bookings. So we'll start using that now, or we'll start going through that configuration now. So when you go to Synthflow, these are my two assistants. I got Jarvis and Jessica. Jarvis, they're both using this real-time booking I have created here. So we're going to go to Actions, and then we're going to go to Custom Actions. And then we're going to create new. And so again, what we're creating here now is a connection or an API call to cal.com that allows your agent to check all of your available bookings. Again, I'm not going to go through how that's done on cal.com. You'll have to set that event up in cal.com, and you'll have your availabilities and all that set up, when you're available in your time zone and all that. So what we're going to do here is on the first setting here, we have the endpoint URL. So we're going to hit, we're going to paste that. We're going to have to do our endpoint method is get, and that's all we're going to post here. So there's your endpoint URL, and there's your method. Next, we got to move on to authentication. We have to toggle it on. Here's the location. And now we have to create a authentication key and a value here. Now this value is your actual API key. I'm going to post like a truncated version of my API key here because I just don't want to share it on screen. But here's kind of like what an API key would look like. It'd be a little bit longer, something like that. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the configure tab. Here's where we have to get quite a bit of information from cal.com. Type of actions during a call. Again, what this is doing is getting all your availabilities for bookings. And query parameters, we're going to have to add quite a few. We're going to add, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it looks like. So we'll go through each one. Event type ID, we'll add here. Now your event type ID is pretty easy to find. When you go into cal.com, okay, I'll just start over from here. So we're going to go to cal.com on the right here. And then we're going to go to event types. Okay, and then we're going to click on the event type. And to get the event type ID, it's actually right here in the URL. So you're just going to copy this right here after /types. So I'm going to copy that. And then we're going to come back to Synthflow. And they're going to paste that in there. The next one is start and end times. Start time. Now this is kind of like something that I had to get creative with. a little bit as I wanted the start and end times for all the booking availabilities to be checked for a year, but we can't do that in SynthFlow because the request takes too long to give you all your available slots for an entire year and all these different records. So I had to do it for the next couple of months. So just be warned that this check availability, you'll have to come back and update it sometime in the future. For me, I got to update it in April 28th, so I only got a couple of months this will work. If anybody knows a way to work around this or make this better or longer, please let me know. But again, start and end time is the entire time that this can check for all your bookable slots within that time range. So, for me, it's February 25th to April 28th. Okay, so that's what the start and end times are. Next, we're going to move on to time zone. And then time zone has to be written a specific way. You can look that up on your own. Okay, so event type slug. This is interesting. This value I used here. I'll put mine in here and then I'll show you how to find it on cal.com, but here's mine. So an event type slug, when you went to the, clicked on the event types over here in cal.com, we'll go to cal.com. The event type slug is actually this URL, and it's this right here. It's /bread applications, and that's what that is. That helps the request look for a specific event for availability. It's just what I used. You may not actually need it. Okay, so then we're going to move on into SynthFlow. Here again, we're going to need an API key. We're going to paste that here, and that's the value API key, and then you're going to copy and paste your API key. Now, where do you get your API key? In cal.com. Pretty simple. You go to cal.com, and at the bottom down here, there's a settings. You're going to click on settings. Okay, and then it's going to open a new menu on the left here, and then you're going to go to API keys. I have quite a few, so that's where your API keys come from, in case you didn't know or you were unsure. Okay, so now we have almost everything we need on the configure section. We're going to move on to variables. This is just what I named mine. I mean, this can be what you can name them whatever you want. I called it bookable slots. And then in the description, this is what I gave it. I just said inform the available slots to schedule a demo or a meeting. Don't say the name of the month unless booking occurs in a different month than today's month. So this is just kind of like these are like little mini prompts that you give to your agent that they are going to read during the call, and they're going to take these variables and put data in them based on the conversation during the call. It's a string, and then you're just going to give an example, and that example would be like, the only thing I typed in here was the word sure, and my agent seemed to work really well with that, and I didn't have to type, I didn't have to do anything like comma okay or yes or anything like that. I literally just typed in sure, and my agent, I named him Jarvis, ran with it pretty good, and it's been working for me really well. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the next step, which is the general settings. Action name. This is what I called it. It said get all bookable slots within the next few days, and then description. And you can mess around with this. This is just kind of like a little prompting. This is like little bitty prompting fields. I don't know much about it other than that. So all I said in the description is call this API to get booking availability. When a person wants to learn more, schedule a demo. And then on speech, this is what the agent says during the call when they're performing this task. I just put in, okay, I'm checking availability. You can get creative with it, have fun. And then we're going to go to action results. Okay, and so I'm not going to run this one because I don't want to create a calendar invite, but that should be everything you need. If you have any questions or any problems with this connection not working, so you're going to go to initialize actions. Probably won't, let's see. Let's go ahead and do it now. So we'll do that, authentication. I'll put in my actual API key. I'll live dangerously. I've got multiple keys here. configure, general settings. Yeah, so then we're going to go to initialize action. And this is where the that one variable where it says bookable slots, and he said sure. This is where he gets the those slots to book. That's the input they're expecting from the person on the phone. And then we're just going to initialize. Success. Okay. And yeah, so that's it. So what that did is it gives the agent during a call all the spots that it can book, and they're all going to appear up here, and then you can expand them and look at them further. So that's what that does, and as you expand, look, here's all the different days and times we can be booked. And then down here, there's another little prompt. I used it anyways, even though you get these warnings that this is going to be discontinued. I put this down here as results.data slots, and then those are coming from these actions right here. And you have to write it with the open and close brackets, just like seen here. And those are coming from up here, results.data.slots, and that's just that's right here. This part of the output where you get the slots. So yeah, put that in the prompt. Now they're saying it's going to be discarded. That's totally fine. So that's it. And so then how you're going to add it to your assistant? You're going to go back to assistants. You're going to go back to whichever assistant you're working on. You're going to go to actions, and it's going to be a during the call action. And then you're going to see get all bookable slots or whatever you called it. And then in your prompt, you're gonna when you want the agent to use it. So what I did, this is my entire prompt for Jarvis. He seems to be working very well for what I'm using him for. Just scheduling and talking about me, scheduling time to talk about me, scheduling time to talk with me and to talk about me. And so in the prompt to use this, you just I told it there's tools, and then right here, this get bookable slots. That's what we just created, and that's the slots you would add, or the times you would read to the person during the call to pick from, right? So you're saying, these are my available times, what works for you, and then the agent has a conversation, and then we move on to the next step, which is we're going to create the actual booking from the conversation. So again, we're going to go to actions, custom actions, and then we're going to create new action. So this one is going to be a post, yep, and then we're going to do the endpoint URL. I'll talk about this a little bit. The input URL here is going to change. Your key is going to be different, and then this is right here. This is the important part you need to have for the URL of the endpoint. Again, all APIs have endpoints. The endpoints are defined by cal.com and what they spit back to you, and this is just how you get to it. Now you're going to add a header, and then we're going to do content type, and then I had to put an application JSON. All right, so we're going to move on to authentication. Now we don't need authentication. We don't have to make sure this is not like this. It's toggled off because the authentication is actually taken care of in the actual endpoint call. Your API key is in the URL. So we're going to go down to configure. Okay, so here is quite a bit of JSON body. I'll probably put these configuration settings in the bottom in the description. So look at the bottom of the description. That'll help. So here's the JSON body you're going to need. The important part here are the variables. And so in SynthFlow, there's two types of variables. Most people are using the ones that occur after the call, and then maybe they're updating a spreadsheet or sending an email. The ones we care about now for these custom actions during the call are these during the call variables. So like anything that looks, in brackets like this. So you got start, you got name, You got email, title. These are all custom variables that your agent can fill out during the call, which is really cool. It took me a long time to learn that. And now that I know about live call booking variables, I'm using them all the time. It was why I'm showing you how to do this demo. So then, down here, this is pretty cool. If you use what I have here, and you can call them whatever. I just call them start name, email, title. You can call these whatever. Anything in the brackets here, you can name them however you want. But you create variables. It just did it for me. That's pretty nifty, neato. I don't think it did it the first time I did that. And so here you're giving your agent just like a little mini prompts for each one of these variables. For start, I just told them this is the email you captured and the confirmed contacts details. That's a part of my prompt. And then for title, this is determined when the booking should begin. This is determined using the get calendar availability. Actually, hold on, that's wrong. My order's off. So this is title. What do I do for title? Title is just simply this. And that company name is another variable I used, and that's coming from a spreadsheet. So I have a spreadsheet with a whole bunch of company names, and it's pulling it from that already. So that's how I did my title. You can get creative with this. Maybe prompt your voice agent to do something. I don't know. That's how I did it. All right, so in the email here, this is my, again, each one of these variables has like this little prompt or these instructions to your agent. So email, this is the email you captured during the confirm contact section. Again, that's in your main prompt. And then we're going down to name. I've discovered just one or two sentences for these is all you need. Sometimes you can get away with a couple words. So name, this is the owner, the contact name of the person who booked this event. Okay. And then, you just start giving it some examples. So in the email, you give it an example email. Could be anything. In the start time. Start time is the ISO format, and you can pick which format you like from ISO. That's how I like it. And then, title can be, so for my example, like maybe I'm looking at roofing company, something like that. And then, name can be anything, Andrew Jackson. Okay. So that's it. And remember, the important thing to remember on the configure tab is the body. I'll put this body in the description. I don't think I'll add the variables here. I'll just let the video have those, and then you can have fun with them. You'll get them from the body anyways. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next step, and that's the general settings. And then this is more labels. So this is what will show up in your custom action list. Description. These are again more like little mini prompts. Helps your agent figure out when to use this API call. And speech. This is what your agent actually says during the action. So during the when your agent's actually performing this API call during the call. So I just said put in time on the calendar, 1 second. Type whatever you want. And then action results. Yeah, so here I'm gonna just put my existing one. I don't want to save this, but I'm gonna close that. And then I'm gonna bring up my current one that I'm using. And then you should get, a result success, and then you'll get your data back, and then you'll get all this information about the meeting, time book, user ID, et cetera, et cetera. You get all the information. And that's it. And then for this one, I didn't use the little prompt data extractors down here. It worked just fine without it. And so that's it. That's the two custom actions that are real-time booking. You're getting calendar availability, and then you're creating a meeting during a call. And again, the reason I did that is the out-of-the-box integration with cal.com for real-time booking was not capturing the person's email during the call. It was a generic email, so I just rewrote it myself, and that's how you do this Real-time booking with Jarvis. I'll put and then I'll call Jarvis, and then I won't call Jarvis in this video. I'll just if you have any questions, what I'll do is I'll put Jarvis's phone number in this video. That sounds dangerous, doesn't it? And so if you got any questions or you want to talk to me, I'll just let you see for yourself. Call Jarvis and see how it works out for you. And if you have any issues with it, let me know. Maybe in a comment on the YouTube video. I'm gonna put this on YouTube, or yeah, just put a comment in the video if it messes up for whatever reason. That's it. I hope that helps. Again, I'm Brett, Agents Discovery, and then that's what I'm calling my voice agent company here for AI automations. And again, I'll put some of the more complicated configuration that JSON in the body of the video, and I hope that helps.